I'm from Flower Mound, Texas, a suburb outside of Dallas. And, you know, football's pretty big there. It's kind of like almost a way of life. I think that the grit from football is really what gave me an edge over my competition like everyone else in the LCS. And I think that's what led me to be able to go through all my hardships. Every single time I got benched, I always responded with like, work harder, I'll find a way to make this work, and like, I'm not gonna give up.
I gotta give myself off the side of the road. I gotta give myself up off the side of the road.
My name is Grayson Gilmer. I play mid lane for Golden Guardians, and some people know me as Goldenglue.
This is after one of his games where he played really well. It's just Grayson and I. He liked the routine, he liked the dedication of it, the showing up every day, whether you're sick, whether you know, no excuses, be there. I literally saw him do plays on the field, in between the plays, throw up, and then go right back in line between plays. And you know, as a mother, you hate to see that, but you see that a lot here in Texas.
There's definitely a giant sense of pride of being like a football player in Texas. You know, it's kind of like the cool thing to do. It's Friday Night Lights. You know, everyone goes out to the big football game, and it kind of feels like a real sense of like brotherhood too. Our school had 5 football teams, like 5 fully fledged football teams. So to be on varsity was like a big deal, and that was always my dream.
Grayson came to us as a freshman, skinny, little gangly guy. He was he was gritty, he was determined. You know, as a high school player playing behind someone like Kaden Smith, the reality of you seeing a lot of playing time is probably going to be slim.
Me and Grayson were both tight ends. I'm 6'5", 250, and Grayson was never quite that big. You know, you could tell he was frustrated at times that he was sitting behind me, but being a great teammate is not always just being the best player on the field, not just being the nicest guy in the locker room, but someone who holds each other accountable. So if I wasn't doing my part, then he would let me know.
There's only 2 or 3 high school athletes that I've ever seen that had the ability that Kaden Smith had. And of course, to be drafted by the San Francisco 49ers and then picked up by the New York Giants, he's made a name for himself in a very short time.
I knew this guy like was better than me. It was very obvious, and he was someone that I like learned from and like looked up to. But I knew I was never going to be as good as football as he was.
Grayson had to work to be part of the game, and I think he found his piece. I think he definitely found his part, his role to be played. But he had to work a little bit harder than just your God-gifted athletes.
He just got permanently moved up to varsity at the end of his junior year when Dignitas gave him his offer, and he had to resign from football.
We're all going to play our last game. We knew of his abilities as far as the video games were concerned. We talked about it in our meeting rooms. The kids bragged on him a lot. And I think that Grayson understood it was time for him to make that decision.
Playing next to him, like, well, this guy's on another level, right? And like that's what I wanted to be for the league. I wanted to be like that Kaden Smith, that guy where people look to him like, I can't be that good. I remember leaving school early Friday morning, to go fly out to LA to play my first weekend of LCS.
They were pulling out Scara, most beloved, long-term, highly skilled mid laner, and putting in this nobody kid from Texas who's still in high school.
Dignitas announcing that after 2.5 years as a starter on the team, Scara would be stepping down off the Rift and taking over as the team's coach.
Goldenglue, as a player, he's not the type of player that you hear, oh, they picked up Goldenglue. Wow, he's gonna dominate now. He's untested and unproven.
At the time, I was pretty cocky. I definitely thought I could beat everyone, and I didn't respect how hard it was to be in the LCS at that time. And I thought I could do it all. I thought I could do school. I thought I could do LCS, and it kind of didn't work out too great.
Our top story right now is the return of Scara. After spending 2 weeks on the bench, he'll be starting in the mid lane for Dignitas in today's quarterfinal match against
When I got replaced, it was hard to learn anything from it at that time. I was really young and really insecure. I took it as it was my fault. I should have played better. I could have done more, and then I wouldn't got replaced. I kind of felt like I deserved it, which was a really shitty feeling for me because I was putting my whole heart and soul into it. It kind of started my chain of going from team to team to team, looking for anywhere to play LCS.
If you counted all the teams, it'd have to be over a dozen. I have about, I think, every jersey he's played. Team Coast, that was a challenger team.
I'm Greyson Goldenglue Gilmer, and I play for Team Coast. We would do really well, and then we were going into the promotion tournament, and then again, our management just replaced me with some import. I remember being really upset. And then for the next season, I rejoined Coast, did the same thing where we did really well, and then they replaced me again. And I was like, there's no way this is actually happening again, but it happened again.
Teammate, they brought him in for the relegation tournament.
I joined, it was 7th or 8th place. We play relegations, we win relegations. I was MVP of that. And then it got sold off to Immortals, and I got kicked. Restarted again, going back into the challenger circuit. And I don't even know what team I played on after that.
Team member, love that team.
I played on so many different teams.
Goldenglue in the mid lane, he's been a favorite go-to for a lot of LCS teams to sub in for them when they need somebody.
Team Liquid, I have several versions of that jersey.
TL looked like it was gonna be a really stacked roster. We had Rainover, who was just went almost undefeated on Immortals, and Piglet, obviously a former world champion. And then when we didn't do well, shit really started hitting the fan.
I mean, Liquid's going to be at the bottom of the standings. And mid lane, both games, was a big weakness. Goldenglue was not able to contribute in the way that he needed to either game.
I got benched they actually put Piglet mid. And I think that was the time that had the biggest impact on me. I remember I was sitting on the rooftop of our TL apartments. I was just looking at the sunset, and I was just thinking am I gonna keep doing this? This was the 4th or 5th time I got benched.
This guy, he's been around long enough that I feel at a certain point, you're getting what you're seeing. At a certain point, that's just the level that you're showing.
He's had 3 years.
Yeah, so it's
He's had a while.
After 3 years, that's just how good you are.
It is always a lot easier to say just oh, man, bad teammates, unlucky. Yeah, but there's always a little bit of truth there, and there's always something you can do better. I remember I was just writing out all my options. I had a journal. I was what are my options? Do I go back home? Do I go back to school? Do I quit? And then I was well, how can I practice? How can I get better if I can't be practicing with the team? And I decided that, if I wanted to actually pursue this, and if I was going to be honest with myself to give it my all, I had to go to Korea by myself and just work on myself until I was good enough.
A white, dark, Valentine's.
And what, Goldenglue going to Korea for a couple weeks is supposed to make this a good team? I mean, are you kidding me? It's
This is the last time I'm going to have any faith in Goldenglue.
Yeah.
Because there is a chance that he is actually able to perform because he just feels so committed to being good.
I went back, the team wasn't planning to use me. I ended up playing in some scrims and doing so well that they're like, actually, we're gonna use him again. So I ended up starting in the summer split.
I thought that was gonna be his first big time, and they benched him. So that was hard for me to take.
I think the org just didn't really believe in me. Like Steve telling me at one point, like, yeah, you're not cut out to be a pro, like you shouldn't do this anymore. And I was like, wow, like, definitely don't want to be here anymore, you know, like I want to go somewhere else.
Cloud9, classic.
Getting the opportunity to join Cloud9 even as academy and be able to play under and learn under Jensen was just a great opportunity for me. So as soon as I got the offer, I took it. There ended up being like a huge fiasco where they basically what happened was the academy team was just playing better than the main team. So they're like, well, let's just see what happens if we bring up the academy team plus Scara.
Cloud9 rocking the world. 3/5 of their academy roster got promoted for day one here. Oh, he might just be dead. Goldenglue answers back.
I had a lot of really good games, but we ended up losing all of them.
And the most recent, Cloud9.
Then my next real appearance was in playoffs versus TSM. We were down 1-2 to TSM, and then they subbed me and Scara up.
Could the subs make it a 2-0 to close out the series? As the second turret falls, the respawns in 15 seconds, and they've done it! Scara and Goldenglue completed! It's the 3-2 victory for Cloud9!
That felt like a really big jump. I just was playing in Academy and now I'm playing in like the LCS finals. Like it's really ridiculous. I had the feeling, like the reassuring feeling that I was like, oh, well, for sure, I'll be able to get on an LCS team. Turns out I actually don't end up getting on an LCS team and I ended up playing on Cloud9 Academy for a whole nother year after getting to play in the finals of LCS. It was like, wow, like I really, am I making any progress? Feels like I'm just at the start again. Like how many more years am I gonna have to go through this cycle?
Somehow he is resilient and he keeps going. Every game I want him to go in and just destroy the other mid laner. All of these players fight so hard. But he's just had so many ups and downs and just keeps getting back up and keeps getting back up. He just has to win. One of these, he has to do it. He has to win, he has to get it.
I got all the trouble I'm ever gonna need. I got all the trouble I'm ever gonna need. I got all the trouble I'm ever gonna need. And I just don't want no more.
The off season's always been like a really stressful time for me. But actually like day one on off season, I met with Golden Guardians and just like, yeah, we want you as our starter. And I was like, really? Like, like that easy?
The deck is stacked against you. Life's a losing game. Even when you think you're up, you're right back down again.
The management that was on Cloud9 the first year I was there ended up going to Golden Guardians. So they already knew me as a person, they already knew my work ethic, and that's why they wanted me. I definitely got a really good feeling of like, oh wow, like all my work wasn't in vain. Like people actually are noticing the effort I'm putting in, like are noticing the sacrifices I'm making. Maybe people can make my path just like a little bit easier, you know? Like it hasn't been easy so far. Like if I can just get a couple breaks, like it'd be real nice.
It's hard being little. It's hard being small.
People put us at like 10th place or 8th place or whatever, and they're like, oh, this roster won't work out, blah, 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 blah. And like, I'm really happy that I'm in a position where I can prove people wrong, because that's kind of what my whole career has been about. It's about proving people wrong. I want people who have benched me in the past to regret their decision. I want to beat them. And I also want to do it to prove to myself that I can. Joining Golden Guardians is like the perfect opportunity for that.
I got all the trouble I'm never gonna need. I got all the trouble I'm ever gonna need.
I think I never gave up because I got a really good support system around me. Friends and family, mentors, and coaches. They saw a lot in me. With the tight-knit circle around me that I had, I really just believe that it was just a matter of time before I succeeded.
I saw on Twitter probably a couple years ago that Grayson was playing professionally, and so I actually DM'd him. I'm like, dude, that is awesome, congrats, and he was saying the same thing to me. To be a player at our level of the sport, be a professional, it's definitely a journey to get there. You know, if he did anything close to what he would do in football, work ethic-wise, then everyone knew he would succeed.
It's hard to outwork Grayson. You may have more ability than Grayson Gilmer, but you're not going to outwork him. He may get told no or not now, but that's not going to prevent him from coming back stronger and continuing the journey. And I think that Grayson's story is far from over, and I, for one, look forward to seeing the rest of that story play out.
Of course, I want to say, yes, he's the best. He's going to win it all. And I don't want to say this is his last shot, because I know how much it means to him.
What up? They're having the finals, the spring finals in Texas. In Dallas. Really? In Dallas. It's kind of funny that the finals are in Texas. We gotta make it there. The one time I feel like I'm getting a good chance is also like when I get a chance to go home and like, you know, show it to like my hometown. I think if I got to play there and like all my hometown, you know, friends and peers, they get to see that like this is what I'm doing in my life, it would give me a sense of just like I made the right choices, that kind of thing. I don't really believe that like my life's just gonna be easy, like it's only up from here and then I won't, you know, ever have any big failures in the future, but I do have the confidence that like I can keep going through whatever adversity I face. Kind of like the guy who you get knocked down 5 times, but you get up 6 times. Like I feel like I want to give that inspiration to people that, like regardless of what's going on in your life, that you can get through it and you just have to keep pushing. And there will be a light at the end of the tunnel.
If you got some good news, give me a chance. Yeah, if you got some good love, just put it in my hand. 'Cause I got all the trouble